Sometimes good ideas come, over a cup of coffee. Today we are going to be talking about Organo Depalle. Depalle actually has this beautiful triangulation of three large intents: the biodiversity intent, the low carbon footprint intent, and high human experience intent. And I think right at the heart of it is where Depalle. Typically, the conversation is that because of human action, there is biodiversity loss. And the question was, through human action, can we bring about biodiversity gain? And I think that is where the starting point for Depalle truly is. Because it is not just about the homes, it is not just about biodiversities, but it is about a collective action that can ensure and support and create really strong neighborhood, not just for humans, but also for local flora fauna to thrive. Organo Depalle is a 60-acre property, about 75 minutes from Gachibowli, close to the town of Shadnagar in Hyderabad. We were looking at two things in Depalle. One is, of course, we wanted to make it a very, very rich environment, asking ourselves how much should we allocate for human experience and how much for natural experience. Second question was, and that was something that is how much square footage do we really need to occupy when we are becoming, when we are buying our second homes or building our second homes. Like Depalle, one user group that really stood out was a family that was quite anchored to urban living, which means they had a family home there. They were comfortable with the neighborhood support systems in terms of schools or healthcare or shopping, but they always wanted a weekend retreat, a getaway home. But what they were trying to do, which was that they were postponing that dream or their aspiration for a getaway home for later in life. When I'm in my 40s, when I'm in my 50s, I'll have that dream home. But the thing is, when your need is much earlier, you are active and fit and you want to spend a weekend or every weekend, in fact, amongst nature, or you want to raise your children much more connected to soil and much more connected and aware of their environment. You want to have a place where your parents can visit and have these nostalgic references and recreate those experiences today. If we were to look at the home itself, alright, just off the street, we have a pathway that leads into the home, and you walk past this green buffer into this pathway, and the first view what you see is actually of the forest and the trees beyond. So homecoming experience is again an indoor-outdoor experience. While you are entering your property, what you do feel like is you're actually entering another grove. Nestled into this is, first it brings you to your foyer. So the plot itself is about 62 feet by about 55 feet. It's a square plot. And as you enter from both directions, whether you're coming from the forest area into your property or from the street into your property, what you're actually seeing at the end of the vista is actually more greenery and a much more biodiverse environment. And as you walk into the home, there are smaller outdoor experiences that start to unfold. First is the outdoor dining, and then a small water feature which can also act as an evaporative cooling area. And that brings us to your tinai, which has seating on both sides and allows you to kind of be an outdoor living room or an outdoor foyer of sorts. And when you enter the home, the first thing that comes to your attention is the sunken seating and the living area. This is, the communal heart of the home, and on views looking out are all towards the backyard and the garden itself and the forest itself. And across from the sunken seating, you have an open dining area. And we know that while this home does have the advantage of having a community kitchen at the clubhouse for urban hive, we also thought maybe a late early morning breakfast or coffee, chai can happen at home. So we have provided a kitchenette and also space for a little bar unit or a workspace. This leads outside to a utility yard as well as your powder room. And further in, if you come in, you have your bedroom and your washrooms, bathrooms, and the most beautiful and experiential aspect of the ground floor, which is the open to sky bathtub and garden. So there's garden inside gardens in this home. Whichever aspect of the whatever you look outside from inside your home can have different experiences based on, whether you want a floral garden, medicinal garden, a quiet zen garden, or maybe you're looking for something that is much more wider and immediate. On the first floor, we made sure there is sufficient space. Periphery of the slab actually has a planter built in so that you can grow different species, maybe have creepers or curtain creepers that overhang and then become part of the architecture. The other thing, in fact, we've created spaces for two big uses. One is to have kitchen gardens, so you can grow your own vegetables, maybe try raising capsicums and baby corns, explore with cherry tomatoes, all of that on the rooftop. And also have space for a deck. While the home might appear to be compact, you've actually doubled the use while also ensuring that there is a consistent and constant connect and participation with a neighbor. The forest is the core organizer in terms of neighborhood design. Everything kind of is nestled, tucked. There are trails, there are pathways. So this forest species selection does take center stage, and so our aspiration for the Depalle forest community is three things. One is that we do native tree recovery, that we look at primarily at indigenous species. The second, make sure that it's productive forestry, so there is some kind of benefit, be it medicinal, be it food forest, be it leaves on which food can be served. Third, most importantly, that we reserve 10% of the species selection to be food forest for other species, other fauna, local fauna, so that it can attract birds, it can attract insects, it can attract small local animals. And another key component that is an integral co-creator of our eco-habitats is the sun. The architecture works in tandem with solar panels, brings the community together. We physically connected all the spaces with this canopy of solar panels, which shades the space below, and under this canopy of solar structures, social programs are placed around this pine, which connects from the main arterial road to the lake beyond. And the journey of this pathway is through a series of small square foot gardens, square foot farms, bringing a little bit of the forest into the pathways, creating an indoor-outdoor experience, while you have these dots of social programs along this path, while you have these social programs dotted along the path. So the programs are very simple. These are all collective experience programs. So we have this beautiful alfresco dining, which overlooks, there is a lovely banquet hall with its own private party hall. And then on the other side, you have the community theater, as well as your fitness and wellness programs such as the spa block, your badminton court, your multi-play court, the gym, as well as the swimming pool with the deck, again overlooking the pond. And we have these beautiful 4 guest suites that actually cantilever over the pond and create this really unique guest experience. The canopy of solar structure has 2 benefits. One is, of course, the energy generation that is happening there, and the second is it's actually shading the volume below, reducing the heat gain in this space. And the third thing is there are some plants that thrive in shade that need not have full open exposure. So the alfresco dining overlooks this lovely stepped garden leading towards the pond, and you have these guest units where you step out and what you're looking is this beautiful pathway that surrounds the pond. And an early morning after visiting or staying overnight, to be able to walk along this pond and then walk into the forest and then go visit your friend and then come back for breakfast to alfresco. So not only are the residents able to take advantage of the experience, but also they're visiting extended family members and guests have unique experiences. And the one thing about Depalle is that every visit or every weekend we know that will look different because of the seasonality, because of the growth of plants, because of the birds visiting based on season, because of the sunlight, because of the rains that come, because of a cloudy day. Your experience of Depalle is not the same. It constantly evolves. What is a small tree, you will see it grow and become this majestic, tall presence in your neighborhood, and you will remember it. As you grow, see your neighborhood grow. As your children grow, they anchor to ideas and moments and memories of things that grow and thrive with them.